Smokey is worried. He knows our state is in danger from bushfires.
Smokey the koala helping to save lives in a bushfire prevention commercial. Now though, according to a West Australian study, Smokies the country over are battling for their own existence. Claims have been made that we as a nation have ignored the plight of, ironically, our most loved native animal. Here though, the koala is said to be thriving. Indeed, in 1967, on Kangaroo Island's Flinders Chase Park, koalas were almost in plague proportions. Rare manna-gums were dying through an onslaught on their foliage by koalas. It was even suggested that there be a shoot to reduce the koala population. However, a more humane remedy was found. Iron was placed around the base of the precious gums to stop the koalas climbing. In Adelaide, the zoo is obviously the most accessible place in which to see koalas. But in what's near enough to being their natural environment, the Cleland National Park is your next best bet. Apart from those two choices, koalas are said to roam freely over a wide area of the Adelaide Hills. They can also be found in Flinders Chase on Kangaroo Island, on Goats Island near Renmark in the Riverland, and also in the southeast. Flinders Chase and Goats Island have been artificially populated. However, they are both thriving koala havens. The National Parks and Wildlife Service tries to maintain a close check on koala numbers in South Australia, and its director, Bob Lyons, sees no justifications for fears that our furry friend here is headed for extinction.
Not in South Australia. I think the steps which were taken in the early 20s have re-established, if not in their original locality, certainly here in South Australia, quite viable populations.
Are they on the increase though?
I would think slowly increasing would be a fair assessment, but of course nowhere near the numbers that they have in the eastern states.
Certainly in the first quarter of this century, koalas led a miserable existence in Australia. They were hounded out of their natural habitat and clubbed or shot. And by the 1930s, the mammal was extinct in South Australia. Efforts were then made to re-establish the species, and this was done with success on Kangaroo Island. All colonies elsewhere in the state are derivatives of the Kangaroo Island experiment. Nationwide, there appears to be a sad lack of knowledge about the koala.
We have done some work on the various populations in South Australia, and at a recent symposium on koalas, which was held in Taronga Park in Sydney, one of our scientific officers presented a paper there. I think the situation in South Australia is quite distinct from that which occurs in the eastern states, because what we're dealing with is largely an introduced or re-established population.
Bob Lyons does agree, though, that overall not only is there a lack of scientific data on koalas, but on all Australian mammals. Deplorable, considering the esteem in which they're regarded overseas.